afternoon, everybody. Just let me double check everything's working. Alright, we look good. Okay. Good afternoon. My name is Patrick Hawe. Derrick is out for the week. Skiing. He's probably shredding the mountain right now. I'm a little jealous. My name is Patrick Hawe. I'm an associated member of T3 Trading Group, which is a SEC registered broker-dealer and member of FINRA SIPC. All trades placed by myself are placed through T3 Trading Group. You should carefully consider whether trading is suitable for you in light of your own financial condition. Please pause the video and take a moment to read this disclosure. Thank you. And position disclosure, I'm currently long Bed Bath & Beyond, Weatherford, Dropbox, MoneyGram, WeWork, and Seago. And that's that. Okay, so let's get into it. So, is this tail on SPY real? It is. Interesting. That's interesting. So basically today was kind of like a boring rest day, which we were sort of expecting from the morning meeting. Basically Friday's candle was pretty important. This 445 is really an area where I would think SPY, S&P should pivot off if this is going to end up being, the bottom, and then you got your high, and then your high or low potentially here. And you got your 445 right here, and then your 200-day, which on Friday SPY failed 445 but bounced off the 200, and then ended up closing pretty well. A close down below 445, down below the 200-day, definitely puts these lows back in play. So today we were kind of expecting, again, not really expecting a rest day per se, but ideally, because Friday's range was so big, again, it closed pretty well, but well off its highs at the same time. Kind of like a rest chop inside day today would set this market up better for a break higher tomorrow. And that's what we got. It's interesting to see this tail too. So basically at what time do we roll over? 3? Yeah, so coming into 3 o'clock, you can see the morning action just chop. It was interesting how SPY rolled over into the close again on Friday, did the same thing today. And then we opened with a gap up, but even though we opened with a gap up, our 5-minute ADMA was still sloped down and coming down at us as if we had gapped down. So that was kind of like a weird phenomenon going on there. And basically, this kind of put some pressure on us, 450 with the 5-minute ADMA. We broke higher, volatility, ended up breaking day highs, looked okay here, rolled over, not looking so good. But while SPY's rolling over, I don't think the VIX was really doing too much. Yeah, it's not like the VIX was, ripping and clearing levels from Friday here. It was kind of just, range bound, low, high, low, back to day high, but then choppy. And then a nice bleed out for the VIX all afternoon gave this market a nice boost here. And coming into 3 o'clock, SPY was closing, set to close above 450, looking pretty good. And then out of nowhere, we get some selling, which it looks like, yeah, maybe a few days ago, but, really Friday and today, we've had some selling into the close. And then it's interesting that it was pretty much just only into the close, and then we immediately are snapping back already here. So not the best close, but I wouldn't consider us bearish yet. And this tail certainly helps because we're kind of closing right at this ADMA here, whereas at that close before, we were set to close below the ADMA with a bearish candle closing on lows here. So overall, the markets, I think, look neutral. And if I had to pick bearish or bullish, I would pick bullish. But I'm definitely not pounding the table saying these markets are bullish. So inside day for SPY, the Russell small caps definitely had strength today. 200, a really big level for IWM. IWM closing pretty much right at / above its ADMA. IWM was probably the strongest today. This undercut the low, but then took out a high. So same thing with IWM for SPY. Ideally, this is going to be your lower high, your high or low, and we get back above 200 and can start, really working our way up again. And then tech was weak today. Tech was your weak point, and that's because rates were higher, at least in the morning. TLT had a breakaway gap to the downside on Friday below this 140, and rates broke up a little bit, making multi-year highs in the 10-year, the 2-year, and we were trading lower this morning. And this was another reason why I thought we weren't really going to break down today, was rates were kind of chilling out here. So when the market was selling off in the middle, kind of like early middle of the day, it's not like rates were skyrocketing and bonds were free falling. They were, stabilized. So that helped, I think, a little bit too. But definitely important to watch rates for sure, obviously. Rates in the VIX. With the VIX looking over, the VIX looks bearish. So even though, that's another reason why I would say, the SPY, I could definitely see a bearish and a bullish argument here, but the VIX looks pretty bearish. I guess if we want to take a look at the real VIX, this is the real VIX, and same thing. This looks bearish. This is the ADMA. It's below its ADMA. The ADMA sloped down. It closed lower yet today. And if anything, today it just got a little bit oversold and had a little bit of a pop due to that. Again, we rolled over into the close there. But overall, this VIX daily chart, I think, looks bearish. Just good to look at that, because I know people are going to say, Pat, the VXX has time decay. So that's the daily chart for the VIX. So that's the market overall, with tech looking the weakest, closing below its ADMA. SPY's looking neutral. IWM was the best today, and then the Dow neutral as well. So we got our inside day today for SPY. We'll see which way it breaks up or breaks down tomorrow. Keep it simple. And I guess some individual names that we looked at this morning. So Peloton, I talked about 30. It's kind of interesting how Peloton traded pretty, I would say, poorly today. And then it closes and you get these headlines. Peloton up 20%, biggest one-day gain in Peloton's history. I mentioned just 30. 30 was the only real level to really play with from post-market trading here. It was holding pre-market and got bid up off of pre-market. So I kind of just said, watch 30, but it's obviously going to gap up huge. It opened, traded, chopped around, lost 30. And there was, below 30, there was really nothing to do. I hope people didn't try and fight this below 30, because this looks like a pain for sure. And then it closed just kind of not great. I don't know. It's not really a bullish candle. Huge volume. Pretty much closed at 30. So we'll see. It's all just chatter and speculation for now with Peloton. But see if, 30 starts to they can really build out this 30. And, it can start to curl up and base off of 30 and curl up higher. If you like Peloton long anyway. Apple, I said 172 should hold. Today's low in Apple, 171. No good there. 172 held in the morning, and Apple looked pretty strong at first, but again, everything kind of rolled over. Looks like 172 broke here. Yeah, not really the best close for Apple, but daily chart still looks okay. Inside day, right? 174.10, 174. Yeah, inside day for Apple. So if things look good tomorrow, Apple 174, definitely something to watch for an inside day there. So Apple did not trade great today, but the daily chart still looks okay. Below, start getting below 171, I'd be nervous again. Google, no good. Day 4 of Google not being good. But finally, almost closing this gap. But you got this earnings gap to 2750, which I know Felipe commented at the end of the day, and I agree with his comment that the earnings was great. I wouldn't really expect this earnings gap to fill all the way. It shouldn't. It's a pretty powerful gap. So I don't know. I mean, I would really like to see Google pivot pretty much right around here is really where it should do it. So we'll see tomorrow if tech's strong tomorrow and Google trades back up over 2,800 or maybe it's opening above 2,800. See if you can either buy it versus today's low or even better, ideally 2,800. Because yeah, I guess no, you washed it out here. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. See if it's back above 2,800 and holds 2,800 tomorrow, but not what you would want to see. I would have thought this would have kind of, if anything, you don't have to go through 3,000 right away, but chop around up here and let the moving averages catch up here. Don't just sell out down that hard. So, Google's probably one of the best ones, Google and Apple, but heavy action. What else did I talk about? I said energy probably needs to chill out a little bit. Oil chilled. Energy did not chill. Energy was hot. You can't stop it. I said energy should chill, but definitely don't short this energy strength. I think I made that point. Daily ADMA catching up to 68 here on XLE. XLE versus 68 going forward looks pretty good. What did some of these names do? Exxon a little extended, but when Oxy, kind of had a correction on Friday and then still looking good. I don't know. These trends look super strong here. So, we'll see. Oil relaxed for a day, but oil could definitely keep going. Energy looks strong. It's the strongest out there for sure. Tesla 940, I remember that fail. I remember it went and then failed. 935 was the pre-market high for Tesla. So Tesla triggered right here. And then 940 triggered as well. I don't know if this is enough really to cover risk. Hopefully at least sell a little bit. And then, keep it simple. It failed 940 and rolled over. Tesla's daily chart looks not great. If you like Tesla long, you can look at this tomorrow versus 900. Otherwise, Tesla, a short through 900. This looks ready to short through 900. Back below its ADMA. This might curl back down here. So, yeah. And then the two upgrades. Oh, I added AMD to the list this morning, which, similar, I guess, to Tesla. It broke up higher in the morning and then ended up rolling over. So AMD was okay. Daily chart looks okay there, but NVIDIA has earnings coming up, so we got to get through NVIDIA earnings too. And then the two upgrades, Snow and CLR. Looks like Snow, similar to pretty much anything that was strong in the morning, rolled over. So really nice, then rolled over, choppy the rest of the day. And CLR not nice off the upgrade, but extended and holding 56. And this 56 level is still pretty valid for CLR. So CLR still looks pretty good versus 56. And yeah, that's everything really I have to talk about. Kind of more of a boring, choppy day, but there's definitely some setups to, hopefully make at least a little bit of cash flow, and then you get stopped out, and it is what it is, and, you don't fight a choppy market because we weren't really expecting the market to go big in either direction today. So yeah, that's all I really have to talk about. So if anyone has any questions, comments, concerns, complaints, thoughts, definitely feel free to share them. Scroll back up here. Oh yeah, I know you guys were talking about, and I love the idea, Stefan, of kind of like cheap growth names. Is basically what you were looking for. Chegg looks like it's up on earnings. Yeah, it's up, selling back down a little bit. This thing is like this is destruction. Like, absolute destruction off this past earnings report. So, hopefully this one's pretty good because this is just absolute and utter destruction. Like, this chart's, like, so insanely broken. That being said, you got, like, a bit of a level, like, 31 to 31.50, which looks like it kind of, like, poked that and then immediately sold back down and is continuing to sell back down. So you got a level 31.50 there. Other than that, I guess we'll see how this trades tomorrow. VLDR, question mark? Oh, is there news or earnings? I'm seeing some news. Something related with Amazon. I guess Amazon is taking a stake in that. Interesting. Oh, thanks, Bill. Bill posted it. Yeah, news. What is the SEC? Ask Elon Musk. So many bombed out names. Yeah, for sure. Buyout news has been filmed all day. Yeah. Is there anything you'd be looking for with the corporate buyback starting up again? I mean, BBBY is in that list, but that play has kind of already started and taken off for me. I guess I got a little bit lucky there. I don't know. It's a good question, Bill. I gotta do more research. So my answer is no, but that doesn't mean I'm not like interested in it. I just gotta do more research there. But yes, I am. If I find something good, I'm definitely interested. I'm definitely not opposed to adding more swings. Now that this market finally had the washout. Was it the washout? Is that the low for the year? Again, like, I don't know. But this was a legit washout. So, that's why I've started to add swings again. Yeah. VLDR news. Is there a play off CLF daily chart? Or is it closing right in the area? We'd want to see a breakup. This name is kind of hard to trade. Ugly spot on the weekly here. It's really got to get back above 20. So what was your question? Is the CLF daily? Is there playing CLF daily? You can either buy CLF. I think you can buy it versus either 1850 or this low 1840. I think you can either buy it versus 1840 or I mean, it's really got to get back above 20. You just saw what that weekly chart looked like, but it got above 1920 here and failed, and then kind of stalled out at 1920 today. So you can either buy it versus 1840, or you can try buying it through 1920 tomorrow or in the coming days, as long as in the coming days this low is also holding. It's building out a nice little wedge. So yeah, let's play there. Yeah, Bill. Yeah, I don't have like a list off the top of my head, but definitely want to look into it more. What do I think about trailing bar to bar on the 15-minute for breakouts that are strictly day trades? I was in Sammy's room today, and they seem to trail a lot tighter for those, like they trailed EXPR bar to bar on a 1 minute on a. If you're trailing bar to bar on a 1 minute for a breakout, I mean, you are absolutely going to get stopped out. I mean, I don't know if like they were in here, but what was your question? What do I think about trailing bar to bar in the 15-minute? I mean, that's like the way to do it for breakout trades or day trades. Really, even just the 5 minute. Because you're saying day trade, you're not saying like something that I really want to swing. There's a difference between taking a breakout that's just like cash flow day trading and taking a breakout in a name that you know love and want to own. So it's a potential to own it. So, I think if it's just like a day trade, you can even just do on the 5 minute chart. I honestly even, Derrick's not here. I even do it on the 2 minute chart sometimes. Not trailing bar for bar, but like that's my breakout risk. I try and keep it super, super tight because the tighter my risk, the more share size I can take. And by the nature of a breakout trade, if it's going to work well, it's going to go. So it shouldn't even stop me out. And then it's tight enough risk where, like, if I do get shaken out, I can probably retry it. If it looks like I got shaken out and then it's going to go, I can retry it. Because it's tighter risk. So, again, if the risk reward makes up for it, then I can, it can fail 2 or 3 times. And the one time it does work, it's going to pay me all those losses back and then some. So, bar for bar, I like bar for bar. I think Derrick's rule, though, of the ADMA catching up is really important. So even if you do trail like on the 2 minute chart, make sure that your ADMA is caught up. Whatever time, basically, I guess what I'm saying is whatever time frame you're trailing on. I really think that's a pretty solid rule that has helped me stay in positions longer than I would have normally. So, yeah. I hope that kind of helps, Ricky. I don't know. If it didn't help, let me know. I don't know home and price of the warrants. I gotta look. Let me just see if there's any YouTube questions. Terry Jones on YouTube. Tech appears to be forming an H pattern on the daily. It's possible for sure, yeah. It's the whole market, Terry. So yes, Tech, MU, yes, AMD, yeah. I don't know about that. And TSM, I don't know about that really. But QQQ for sure. So Terry's saying possible H pattern, which if anyone's watching and they don't know what that is, just picture a lowercase h. One man's H pattern is another man's double bottom is a saying. That's what the kids say, I guess. So yeah, I mean, there's a chance. Basically, that's why like this SPY 445 Friday's low I think is so important. Because if we can hold this, there's a chance that we have our low, high, higher low, higher high on the way. But if we're back below 445 and even more key, really this kind of like sentimental 200 day, if we're back below there, then there is a chance of an H pattern, which would indicate at least retesting these lows. And if the lows break, we got, it's going to be a big measured move if those lows break, but one day at a time for sure. Hey Pat, did you see most of the energy names sold off Friday after hours? I couldn't find a reason. I did not see that. The energy names sold off. Did the market sell off? I mean, the market kind of got. This is Friday, right? Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it looks like the market kind of got creamed into the close on Friday. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't think there was a reason really. I mean, energy cooled off on Friday in the first place because it was getting extended on the daily again. Like Oxy absolutely ripped on Friday, but day one, two, three, day four up. Oxy at 42 with its daily 80 made down here is pretty extended for a name like this. So I don't think there was a reason other than just some more, I don't know, some more selling. Juniper, yeah, sure. Inside day, inside day that closed on lows, but daily ADMA isn't quite caught up yet, so not a huge deal there. Um, 3450. I mean, you got 3450 and then 34. Um, if the we'll see how we gap tomorrow with futures. If we're gapping up and this is gapping near today's high, then I definitely think you can look at this as an inside day and up and try and buy it through today's high versus tomorrow's low if futures are gapping up. And then otherwise, 3550 that I pointed out. See if you can get a pivot off of 35. If we end up breaking today's low tomorrow, see if you can get a pivot off of 3550. This ADMA should be up a little more. And then worst case, 34 is an absolute must hold. This definitely should hold 34 based off this bullish consolidation. And if it doesn't hold 34, I would get out of the way and maybe even consider shorting. That's what they did for TSN, trailing on the 2 minute at the end of the day since on the day trade. Also curious how you would have executed that long this morning, if at all. He longed the break of the third 5 minute candle, calling it the battle bar. The battle bar. But it only seemed important because it held right in front of 97. I assume you're talking about TSM. It longed at the break of the third 5 minute candle, calling it the battle bar. I mean, I can see why they called it that name because it's a doji, aka opening, closing near the open with a tail below and a tail above. So, it's a battle between buyers and sellers. So I got the name. Also curious how I would have executed this long in the morning at all, but only seemed important because it held right in front of 97. Is 97 a level? Not really. Is this all? Oh, actually, no. I had a feeling this was going to look like this. So, again, I mean, even Derrick says 2 minutes you can use in like the first 30 minutes, and I think that's valid. Because when you get gap ups that are this big, or just gaps that are this big in general, whether it's up or down, it's like it's gonna take too long for the 5 minute ADMA to catch up to the low. Like even in this, by the time the 5 minute ADMA catches up to the low of the day, you're trading at 98. I mean, you're trading well off the low, so it's a little bit hard. You don't want to buy this and give it to the low of the day at this point. So I definitely don't hate waiting for the 2 minute ADMA to catch up initially. Don't just buy like huge gaps and then because you're probably going to get shaken out. But wait for that 5 minute ADMA to catch up. But even you can cheat I think a little depending on the gap, and wait for that 2-minute ADMA to catch up. Which, here's my 2-minute chart. ADMA catches up to lows, and you're basically buying that around that same time anyway. If anything, you're buying like a little bit of a better price probably, because this high is 97. So they would have been buying at 9:45, and here you would have been buying, yeah, like around the same time. So I don't think 97 is really much of a level. It looks like it just, it was a battle bar, and the buyers won, and that's why it broke up. And again, you can see it kind of like rode this 2-minute ADMA nicely here. So yeah, the 2-minute ADMA on big gaps can sometimes be better execution risk-reward points than waiting for that 5-minute chart. So yeah, but I think you asked how I would have executed this long. I probably wouldn't have. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I would have done what they did, but I just probably wouldn't really. I don't know. I don't really love that. One minute can be a little bit too shaky. I have found I mean, you can see like even the 1 minute held here, but more often than not, I've seen 1 minute bounce off the ADMA on the 1 minute, shake down a little bit into 1 minute equilibrium, and then it'll kind of really be the 21 on the 1 minute, which is usually kind of what the 2 on the 8 on the 2 looks like. So I find the 8 on the 2 is cleaner for something that really like shouldn't even break. Looks like I got through everything. Anyone have any other questions or anything like that? Otherwise, I'll wrap it up. I mean, it wasn't, too much to do today. Which indicators do I use? Really only moving averages, volume. I have an RSI on some of my light speed charts, just like a simple standard RSI. And then on trading view, I have some extra stuff, like the DeMark indicator is the countdown. So when I talk about like niners, like here's a niner to the downside, which typically would signal exhaustion. That's on the VIX daily, 15-minute niner. That's DeMark, but that's not on light speed. But honestly, whatever indicators I use, I truly know and believe that I could be fine with like literally one moving average and volume. And honestly, even just candlesticks and volume. Volume's pretty telling. So yeah. Yeah, Rich. Do you know how I do that? Like share my setup, or do you want me to just, I don't know. Okay, I'll look into it. Yeah, I can share it. It's just DeMark, and then this is like kind of like a stochastic type thing. It's called Matrix Series. But yeah, I'll figure out a way for how to set this up and share it. But yeah. So I guess that's that then. We'll see how we gap. Markets look neutral. Markets look basically as neutral as they could be, with, I guess, IWM looking a little bit more bullish and tech looking a little bit more bearish. So we'll see how we gap. We'll see if SPY can break this inside day today, either way, tomorrow, and we'll go from there. So thanks. Have a good night, everybody.